When the heavens high above open, some truly terrifying surprises come down from the skies. Whether it is objects of unknown origins, mysterious creatures, or other shocking natural sightings, you won't believe how weird the skies can get.
What is that thing?
What would you have done if this happened? An Australian man recorded this visual in the middle of his relaxing trip to the beach that was anything but relaxing. The visuals, coupled with the sound, were enough to scare the bejesus out of the man. It even took me a couple of seconds to register it. The meteorite also caused a rupture in the sky.
What is that thing?
Falling oddities. This happened in Zhejiang, China, where tiny octopuses fell down with the rain. It had happened in 2019, but this wasn't the only time in China when something truly unexpected fell from the sky. And a year before, it literally rained fish in enormous quantities. They covered streets and rooftops. On another occasion in Liaoning, right after rain, people found thousands of worms everywhere, including their cars and sidewalks. All of these moments remain unexplained and utterly shocking. But if you have any theories, do write them in the comment section below. $2 million. When a loud bang shook a house in North Sumatra, Indonesia, a local herdsman discovered an unexpected rock embedded 6 inches into his living room floor. It was still warm to the touch, and he suspected it could be a meteorite. After taking pictures and sharing them online, experts confirmed it was indeed a rare lunar rock. He ended up selling it for a significant sum, a total of $1.8 million. Now scientists are analyzing this extraordinary find. What started as a shocking moment turned into a groundbreaking discovery for both him and the scientific community. Blue rainfall.
And it's been raining, and the water that's coming out of the sky is blue. And it's not this tarp, because it's happening on this tarp too.
In early May, parts of Texas and Louisiana experienced rainfall unlike anything locals had seen before. The water wasn't clear. It had a faint blue tint. Campers filmed droplets hitting tarps and forming puddles that shimmered in the light. Then came something even stranger. In certain spots, jelly-like, translucent blobs fell from the sky, sticking to cars, rooftops, and open fields. They felt soft, sticky, and completely out of place. Scientists had no immediate answer, and for many, the strange rain seemed less like a random event and more like the start of something no one was prepared for.
The f*** is that?
Bird cemetery. This next one happened in September. 5 years ago, over in Bali's Gianyar Regency, a man walked into a cemetery and came across something that stopped him in his tracks. The ground was covered, literally covered, in unalive sparrows. Thousands of them, scattered like it had just rained heavily. But that's not exactly a normal reason for birds to just fall out of the sky in massive numbers. No solid cause was ever confirmed, and the whole thing left people uneasy. Sometimes nature does things that just don't add up, and this was one of them. Giant hailstones. The weather has been pretty crazy and unpredictable lately. However, on April 18th, 2024, a farmer in Beiji, China, was left speechless when massive chunks of ice started crashing down from the sky. The impact was so strong it left dents in the soil. At first, it seemed impossible, but upon closer look, it was clear. These were giant hailstones. Formed by powerful updrafts in thunderstorms, these icy monsters grow to enormous sizes before finally plummeting to the ground. It's a rare and jaw-dropping reminder of how intense weather can get. Raining animals.
You'd probably be skeptical if you heard a weather forecast that called for storms with a light drizzling of fish. It sounds like a biblical plague, but it happened this week in Texas, where multiple residents reported witnessing the aquatic animals fall from the sky.
In December 2021, a storm in Texas got a lot weirder when fish started falling from the sky. They were shad, small, silvery fish landing on cars, lawns, and even rooftops. This kind of thing has happened before. 16 years ago, Australia had its own fish rain. Scientists say it's probably caused by waterspouts or strong updrafts, sucking the fish out of lakes or rivers and then dropping them somewhere else. Still, seeing it happen in front of you would make you question just how strange weather can really get.
There was a loud crack of thunder, and we opened up the bay door, and I looked outside, and it was raining real hard, and a fish hit the ground. And I said, "It's raining fish."
Unusual lightning. This farmer was taking cover from a heavy downpour when he noticed something bizarre. Strange rays of light spread across the grass, shifting in intensity and even looking like fire for a moment. Then, just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished, leaving behind a small wisp of smoke. Some folks thought it was lightning striking the ground, while others guessed it might have been an electric arc, energy jumping from the power grid to the earth. Either way, it was a wild sight he won't forget. Fish rainfall. If you've ever heard the phrase, "it's raining cats and dogs," Yasuj, Iran, took it to a whole new level because during one storm, it rained fish. In the middle of a heavy downpour, residents noticed small fish tumbling from the sky, some still moving as they hit the ground. Clips of this strange event quickly spread online, with people wondering how this could even happen. Scientists believe a waterspout likely formed over a nearby lake or river, sucked the fish into the air, and dropped them miles away. Since this phenomenon is extremely rare, scientists don't exactly know how it precisely happens. Crawling rain. If you've got arachnophobia, you might want to skip this one, because a few years ago in Brazil, the sky was basically full of spiders. And no, they weren't falling like rain. They were hanging from one massive, impossible-looking web that stretched so far up, it looked like it was coming from the clouds. Locals said it was just hunting behavior, but honestly, that doesn't make it any less terrifying. Walking down the street while hundreds, maybe thousands of eight-eyed crawlers dangle above you? Yeah, hard pass. Bird apocalypse.
Many of you will have seen on social media a video going around of an incident on Anglesey where numerous starlings have been killed. I mean, many starlings. We don't know how it's happened, but I'll show you the scene.
On December 12th, 2019, in North Wales, a woman driving along a rural road in Anglesey came across a disturbing scene. Hundreds of starlings were scattered along the roadside near the hedgerows. At first, she thought they were feeding, but as she got closer, she saw they weren't moving at all. Authorities were called, and some of the birds were collected for testing to determine what caused this sudden collapse. The cause has never been confirmed, leaving one of the most unsettling wildlife incidents in the area unexplained.
So we're just outside Bodedarn here by Llyn Lake, and as you can see on the road here, there's approximately 225 dead starling on the road itself.
Gold from sky. When something shiny falls from the sky, you'd expect it to be rain or hail, not solid gold. That's what happened in Yakutsk, Siberia, when gold bars came tumbling down near the local airport. Witnesses rushed to see what had fallen, and the reason turned out to be just as unusual as the sight itself. A cargo plane's hatch had malfunctioned during takeoff, spilling part of its load onto the runway below. Authorities moved quickly to collect the gold, but with a scene like that, it's hard to believe every last piece made it back. Fallen figure. Late at night, a family heard their dog barking wildly moments earlier. Something had dropped into the owner's backyard, which seemed to set the dog off. When they checked their security camera, they froze. The footage showed a humanoid figure with bat-like wings and sharp horns standing near the dog. The creature stayed there for a short time, then let out a loud, disturbing scream before taking off into the sky. The family was left shaken, unsure what had landed in their yard. Sky mystery. Some fishermen in Indonesia were out at sea when they spotted something bizarre falling from the sky. It was long, dark, and big enough to stand out even from a distance. It slammed into the ocean far away from their boat, making a splash but no visible debris. Whatever it was, it didn't belong up there, and after it sank beneath the waves, it stayed there, turning the whole thing into one more unsolved ocean mystery. Falling technology. Crowds gathered in Zhengzhou, China, for a bright, choreographed drone show above a shopping mall, but the night ended with a far stranger scene. After the drones formed the mall's name in the sky, some suddenly went dark and began falling, one after another, toward the crowded streets. Spectators rushed for cover as the small craft struck cars and rooftops. Now everyone was fine, but the cause of the failure was never made public. The most puzzling part, so many drones failed at the exact same moment, as if something had interfered with them all at once. Mysterious sighting. One evening at the beach, a man noticed something strange. This narrow beam of light coming straight down from the sky. He followed it with his eyes and saw it was coming from some kind of craft. The weird part? The craft almost disappeared into the background, like it was blending in with the sky itself. Then, just as suddenly as it started, the beam shut off, and the craft lifted higher and higher until it completely vanished from sight. Blackening skies. It looks like the curse of the Pharaoh is back, because Russia was covered in locusts, and that wasn't the only incident. It even happened in Las Vegas, and that too just recently. Millions of these creepy crawlers invaded the streets of America, and for both incidents, the question remains unanswered. However, one thing is for sure. This is as biblical as it gets. Fallen angel. A hiker saw something coming down from above. At first, he thought it was a bird. As it fell further down, the camera picked up its shocking silhouette. It had large wings, a humanoid shape, and it was crashing down near the mountain. The location is unknown, but this was recorded sometime in the early 2000s in March. Since it fell in the mountains, the hiker could not reach that spot, which is why we don't have any other information on this strange visual. Car takeover.
Jenny, if I turn the nuclear reactor off, will they go away?
Decades ago, a family visiting the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa got the shock of their lives. They parked their car for a walk during their holiday, but when they returned, the vehicle was swarmed by giant woodlice, also known as sea slaters. The car had turned into a hotspot for these creepy-crawlies. They'd seen a few of them around the beach earlier, but nothing could have prepared them for this bizarre scene. It's one of those moments where nature reminds you who's really in charge. Dark humanoid creature. A resident in Kansas City, Missouri recorded a strange video that quickly spread online. The clip shows what looks like a massive living moth. Right before filming, the cameraman said he heard a loud bang, like something had fallen from the sky nearby. When he looked up, he saw the large winged creature moving in the dark. A few viewers think it could be a strange person who might have been scaling buildings, stalking people before he or she got caught here, which would explain why this is the only video. Strange sky streak. Late one night, over Portugal, the darkness was cut by an intense green meteor blazing across the sky. The bright streak moved quickly, leaving a vivid trail that stayed for moments before vanishing. Witnesses described its size and color as unlike anything they had seen before. Many caught it on camera, while others just stood still, stunned by the rare and mysterious display. Sharks Falls in backyard. This absolutely shocking event happened in July of 2015 when a family in Virginia Beach, Virginia, discovered something completely unexpected in their backyard. A small dogfish shark, also known as a sand shark. Measuring just 13 inches long, it was far from the ocean and nowhere near its natural habitat. The most likely explanation is that a large seabird caught the shark while hunting and accidentally dropped it mid-flight. How it ended up there may have an answer, but the sight still caught everyone off guard. Fallen geese mystery. It's not often you find the sky dropping geese like rain, but shockingly, in Idaho Falls, residents saw that in April 2019, in one parking lot, dozens of birds lay scattered across the ground, all in the same area. Moments earlier, they had been flying overhead. The scene didn't have an immediate explanation. After investigation, experts suggested lightning was the likely cause. A sudden storm, combined with the flock's location in the wrong place at the wrong time, may have led to the fall. Fallen from space.
If you were awake overnight, you may have seen something strange in the night sky.
This is super weird. We've had several reports of something falling to the ground around 1 or 2 this morning. You see it here.
Back in July 2019, people saw the sky glowing with this slow-moving, fiery streak that definitely wasn't a shooting star. It drifted down in a way that almost looked controlled, and for a minute, people started joking about UFOs, or debris from the ISS. Turns out, it was something pretty wild but totally real space junk from an old Chinese satellite launched in 2015. As it re-entered Earth's atmosphere, it burned up, putting on this huge glowing display before completely disappearing.
This video was sent to us by Jonathan Carruthers. He says the objects were falling for a long time and there was nothing else in the Southwest Florida sky.
Enigmatic skyball.
As if nothing else was important in the world, if there wasn't enough going on. The sky appears to be following, at least literally, and we don't know exactly what's going on. You can see this, a post from the New York Post saying a fireball seen over the southeastern United States could have been a meteor and may more be on the way.
One sunny afternoon over Georgia and South Carolina, hundreds of people looked up and saw a streak of fire blazing across the sky. This wasn't a jet or some fireworks. It was bright, fast, and over before you knew it. More than 100 witnesses reported it, and experts say it was probably just a meteor burning up in the atmosphere. But just a meteor doesn't really capture how insane it looked. Bright enough to shock people in broad daylight? Yeah, no wonder folks are still watching the skies.
Many people sent us pictures. They sent us dash cam video really telling the story there. You can see it on your screen.
Falling money chaos.
This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. Someone dropped money all over the freeway. San Diego has shut down.
Some time ago in San Diego, California, traffic came to a dead stop. But not because of an accident, because $20 bills were literally flying through the air. An armored truck had spilled its load, and people were bailing out of their cars, grabbing as much as they could. Total mayhem. Some were stuffing bills into their jackets, others were filming on their phones. But here's the thing, police showed up, arrested a few people, and went through footage to track down the rest. So yeah, free money on the highway? Turns out it comes with strings attached and handcuffs.
They come in before we come knocking on their door and just turn the cash in.
Falling serpent. So, this footage out of Montana has been making the rounds, and honestly, I get why. It shows this weird vertical object just hanging there in the sky, split into 3 sections, completely motionless. From another angle, it even looked like some massive black serpent suspended mid-air. People started throwing out theories: UFO, secret military tech, or my personal favorite, Helium Falcon, apparently the galaxy's best balloon pilot. Then another family caught something similar, except this one was cigar-shaped and leaving a smoke trail as it slowly dropped. For a second, they thought it was a plane going down, but nope. Just another one of those sky mysteries that makes you question what your eyes are telling you.
Is that a plane going down?
I don't think it's a plane.
Angel or human? So, This picture got a lot of people taking, but here's the truth. People were saying it was an angel that literally fell from the sky. The face looked like an elderly person, but the body, straight up winged. The feathers weren't bright and fluffy like you'd picture. They look worn out, almost decayed, like they had aged. Turns out this was actually a rendition of a very old man with enormous wings showing the heavenly crash. If you've ever seen something strange fall from the sky, drop your story in the comments. Eden Project. A security camera captured a strange object appearing in the sky above a facility in the middle of the day. It was semi-transparent, but still visible in the footage. Strangely, the video got glitchy for a brief moment, like something was interfering with the camera, and then the CCTV footage ends after it enters one of the balls. Reptilian Fall.
Oh my God.
On January 22, 6 years ago, a woman in South Florida stepped into her backyard to find iguanas lying motionless on the floor. They had fallen from the tree above and looked like statues, completely still. For a moment, she thought they were lifeless. Turns out, the sudden drop in temperature had caused them to freeze up. The cold made the iguanas lose control of their muscles, leaving them completely still.
There you go. So you're not gonna get run over.
Close call. A street cleaner in London, just doing his thing near Kew Garden Station, when out of nowhere, a massive chunk of ice falls from the sky. I'm talking about a 44-pound block of ice smashing into the ground, just a few meters away from him. Turns out, it probably came from a plane flying overhead. Apparently, ice can break off when planes hit warmer air. Dude got lucky. Although he was on the other side of the street, who knows, maybe that is where he was about to go to, and it would have been a disaster. Vegas liquid mystery.
People here in the eastern part of the valley are completely perplexed over these brown, black, almost oily-looking droplets that are falling from the sky. They're everywhere. They're over all of these cars. They're over an RV in the back of the lot. They're all over this basketball court. The big question is, what are they, and why are they falling from the sky?
People in Las Vegas woke up one day to find their cars and buildings covered in this weird, greasy liquid. At first, everyone freaked out, thinking it was acid rain or something toxic. But nope, turns out it was bee poop. Yeah, you heard that right, bee excrement. Totally harmless, but still, who expects that to rain down from the sky? Just another day in Vegas, I guess.
We've reached out to the FAA, the Nevada Department of Conservation, and the State Division of Environmental Protection to get an explanation for this, and as of right now, we haven't heard back.
Dropping debris.
So that she doesn't get hit by something.
A family was out walking their dog in a park, just enjoying a calm day, when suddenly, huge metallic objects started falling from the sky. At first, they couldn't figure out what was happening, but once the debris hit the ground, they realized it was wreckage from a plane. Authorities confirmed the right engine of a Boeing 777-200 had failed after takeoff, scattering parts across yards, streets, and the park. Thankfully, no one got hurt, but it's one of those moments that makes you realize how quickly a normal day can turn into something wild.
Oh my God.
Flying entity. After a clip hit the internet showing a humanoid with massive wings soaring through the sky, rumors of angels descending spread like wildfire. However, this wasn't your typical angel. Its jagged wings gave off a more sinister vibe, almost devilish. Critics questioned its authenticity, but believers pointed to the shadow it cast while flying as proof. What do you think? Real or CGI? Outer space debris.
I was in this bedroom right here. Sounded like an explosion happening. Jumped out of bed, ran over and turned on the light and saw a hole in my roof. Flipped back the top pillow and there was the rock. It was well over a kilogram, so I would say that big, yeah.
Imagine sitting at home, thinking you're safe, when suddenly something smashes through your roof and lands on your bed. That's exactly what happened to one woman when a meteorite came hurtling from the sky. The rock was moving so fast, she didn't even have time to react. It tore through her ceiling and left a hole in her mattress. Scientists are now scrambling to figure out where this space rock came from, asking the public for help to track its path. It's a reminder that sometimes danger can come from the most unexpected places, like outer space. Scary flight.
An airline passenger recorded a frightening scene while taking off from Montreal on Friday. The video shows sparks and flames shooting out of the left side of the landing gear just before a wheel falls off. 52 people were on board the Air Canada Express flight. It headed back to Montreal. The pilot circled to burn off some fuel before making an emergency landing. The airline says its experienced pilots maintained complete control of the aircraft.
Passengers on United Airlines Flight 1001 got more excitement than they bargained for. The plane took off from San Francisco, but shortly after, disaster struck. A tire fell off mid-air. Despite the terrifying situation, the pilots managed to land safely in Denver, and everyone breathed a huge sigh of relief. The missing wheel was later found in Los Angeles. Officials are now investigating how something like this could happen, but one thing's for sure, it's not the kind of flight anyone wants to experience twice. Tentacle sky creature. In 2018, people in Amman, Jordan, spotted something strange drifting high above the city. At first, it looked like a trick of the camera, but once the person filming zoomed in, the details became clearer. The object was round, with several long, tentacle-like extensions hanging from its underside. It didn't move like a balloon or any aircraft known to locals. Whether it was an unusual aerial craft or something alive, its sudden appearance left more questions than answers. Mysterious ring.
It's an alien. Oh my god, look.
In the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, a resident spotted something unusual hovering high above. A glowing, ring-shaped object floated in one place, its shape so clear it almost resembled a portal hanging in the sky. It remained there for a short while before fading completely. With no clear explanation, and its appearance so close to the mountains, the sight has stayed a mystery to this day.
Oh, it's a video you're taking? Whoa, there it goes.
Weird sky trail.
Look how bright it is. Oh my gosh.
Over California one evening, a glowing streak lit up the sky, moving too slow for a meteor, yet far too fast for a plane. People stopped in their tracks, filming the strange trail as it cut across the horizon, its shape and brightness looking like something out of a science fiction movie. The official explanation was that it came from a reused SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launching satellites into orbit. Still, with the way it appeared and the way it vanished, some couldn't help but wonder if that was the whole story.
There's Stacy that big Goose back.
Massive metallic ring. On 4th April 2022, a quiet village in Maharashtra, India, suddenly had an uninvited guest, a massive metallic ring. 10 feet across and over 90 pounds, sitting in a field like it just teleported there. Locals were baffled. Turns out, it was a space junk part of a Chinese Long March rocket that survived re-entry and crash-landed right in their backyard. Imagine waking up, grabbing your morning tea, and seeing part of outer space hardware chilling in your field. Makes you wonder what other giant metal surprises are orbiting above us, waiting for their drop date. Fallen bat creature. A driver took a wrong turn and ended up on a highway that had been closed for years because of long-term construction. At first, he thought he saw a normal bat sitting nearby. Then the creature flew close to his car before pulling away. In that brief moment, his camera showed something far worse. It looked like Camazotz from old Mayan stories, a bat-like being from legend. After the footage came out, the highway was officially abandoned. People said anyone who runs into it carries bad luck for life, and no one wanted to take that risk. Fallen talking bird? People in Catemaco, Mexico, shared a video that spread fast online. Residents said a strange bird had fallen from the sky near their area. When they got closer, they claimed the bird spoke while flying, which made them believe it was not a real animal. Many locals said it was a witch that could turn into a bird and had given herself away by talking. The sight scared people who saw it in person. Catemaco is already known for stories about mysticism, so this clip quickly went viral and had everyone talking about what really fell from the sky that day. Spy pigeon found. A man was feeding pigeons on a quiet street when one bird caught his attention. It looked a little off compared to the others. When he walked closer, he noticed something strange about its tail. Small chips and thin wires were visible, showing it was not a real pigeon. Shocked, he took out his phone and recorded it. The video went online, and people started guessing what it could be. Some said it was a spy pigeon. No one knew who sent it or why it was there, and the strange bird left many people uneasy about what they had just seen. Mysterious bird. The villagers panicked when a strange bird suddenly fell from the sky and crashed into the middle of their village. It hit an electric pole on the way down and appeared to damage its wings. From far away, some people thought it looked like a turkey vulture. But as more villagers got closer, they saw its face clearly and realized it did not look like any normal bird. The video shows the creature struggling for a moment, then slowly spreading its huge wings. The video, unfortunately, ends there. Now it's time for the scariest thing that fell from the sky as our open discussion of the day. In a small city in Chitradurga, India, locals were left in shock when a mysterious humanoid being fell from the sky around 1:30 p.m. on 2nd March 2026. People said the figure crashed straight through the brick roof of a house and landed inside. Neighbors ran over, and soon Indian police were seen holding the being in their hands, while others recorded from a distance. The creature had a humanoid body, ruined wings, and a yellow beak that looked like part eagle. Many locals called it a churail or a witch. Others in the town were convinced it was a shapeshifter. What made it even stranger was a circular metal ring on its feet, shaped like something you would see on a chicken's leg. People are still arguing about what it really was. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.